cutting them too short. Crap. What if I put a massive dahlia like this in the middle? All right, this is what I ended up with.
Mommy, you made me flowers? These are from my garden.
Steph has gone away on a vacation with some friends and she left me in charge, so I guess I am promoted.
You have been promoted.
So this plant is not doing so good. I can't wait for Steph to get back home. So it's been 10 days and Steph is on a flight from Amsterdam back to Boston. She's about 2 hours away. And I found this mason jar from a can of spaghetti sauce and I'm gonna fill it up with some flowers to surprise her when she gets back in, and it's starting to rain. And I don't have much time, so we need the rain, but I gotta get going. All right, before I go and cut some flowers, here's an update on the rocking blue suede shoes. It just needed water. After I watered it that day, it bounced right back and it's been fine ever since. It's raining today, so I am off the hook. All right, I don't have a lot of room, so I have to be selective with the flowers I cut. Oh, I'm cutting them too short. Crap. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. You know what? Let me put some water in this jar first. What if I put a massive dahlia like this in the middle? That in the middle? It's like I'm talking to the audience, but you guys aren't responding. Wow. That is really cool. I think this is ketchup and mustard. So if I put this in the middle, I'm sorry if I'm not doing this right. I'm just doing the best I can. So let's see. All right, this guy is not looking so great, so I'll just take this sunflower out. I feel bad that I cut it and we're not using it, but it was past its prime. Okay, one of these. I really like that one. I think that's looking pretty nice. The big one in the middle. I just got to arrange these so that this big one stays put. This pink one. What's this? Okay, I'll get that one. All right, this is what I ended up with after about 10 minutes. I cut some cone flower at the beginning, but they were past their prime and didn't look so good, so I ended up just taking them out. I think she'll be happy with this. I tried to get all colors that kind of blended in with each other, so nothing that was too dark.
Mommy, you made me flowers? These are from my garden. You cut my flowers.
So what do you think?
So nice, good, and you dedicated them for me.
Yeah.
All these zinnias are all blooming.
I had a couple of sunflowers, but they looked bad, so I got rid of them.
Oh, it looks so nice.
That's good, right?
Thank you.
Well, I'm
Good
happy you're
job.
home.
Yes, I'm
All
happy
right.
to be home too.
Let's go.
Hi, it's Steph,
and I'm back in my garden. If you don't know, I just returned back from a 10-day trip and 10 days from being away from my garden, which is quite a lot, especially in the height of the growing season. But I'm happy to report that my garden assistant, my husband George, did a fabulous job taking care of the garden. I'm so proud of him. He has actually, I can now officially call him a gardener. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what plants are what, and he did such a good job. And I'm so thankful to have had his help. And when he picked me up last night, I got home late afternoon and I was so tired. There is a 6-hour difference between here on the East Coast and in Europe where I went. I actually ended up going to the Netherlands. So I spent some time in Amsterdam and then I went over to France. And so now that I'm back, I'm a bit jet lagged. So I went to bed early last night, probably around 7 p.m. But I wanted to show you this beautiful bouquet that he had picked for me, this flower arrangement from the flowers that we have growing in our cut flower garden. He picked a lot of these zinnias that when I left weren't even blooming yet. So when I saw them in the car last night, I was so excited to see how pretty they look. And this ketchup and mustard dahlia he used as a centerpiece. I mean, the color coordination is on point, I have to say. Maybe he's even ready to work at a florist shop. But he did a great job. And as soon as I pulled into the driveway, I noticed that there were some things blooming that weren't blooming when I left. So much changed in 10 days. And one of them I'm super excited about. So I'm going to take you around the garden and just show you a couple of those things as I return back from my trip. In the video that George surprised me with, he showed me that the Sahara Rudbeckia had started blooming, and it has filled out even more in the last week. It is looking so pretty. I started the Sahara Rudbeckia from seed, and I left a space in the center there for a hydrangea that I will be planting shortly. And this packet of seeds, the Sahara Rudbeckia, you will get multiple different colors. You can see that there is this kind of red, almost with a bit of a pink tint to it. And then there are some that are in shades of caramel and golden yellow and pink, almost like a mauve color. So just really beautiful sunset colors. And they look really pretty combined with the traditional golden Rudbeckia that had just started to bloom before I left on my trip. And right behind that, I have a hibiscus. This is called the Luna White Hibiscus that also started blooming while I was away. And I really love the color combinations and the different plant textures that I have going on in this border. I think it looks really pretty, and I am going to grow this Sahara Rudbeckia again because it is gorgeous. On the opposite side of the porch, on my main walkway border, I have another one of these Luna White Hibiscus. And while it is blooming beautifully, you can see that the lower half of the plant, the leaves have been decimated by either Japanese beetles or the sawtooth larvae, those little green caterpillars that seem to attack the hibiscus this year. So we are going to have to spray this with BT as well. George took care of treating the hibiscus that I have in the back in our shed bed, the Proven Winners Summerific Perfect Storm hibiscus. So now we are going to have to treat this one as well. It might be too late. It is still blooming, but if I have some BT left in the spray bottle, I'll go ahead and just apply some. And my lilies, George did such a great job spraying these for deer so that they wouldn't get eaten. The deer love my lily buds. Now, I have grown these for a couple of years now. These are the Casa Blanca variety. They're a really beautiful, large white variety, and they are so fragrant. The breeze that we have right now just wafts its scent in the air, and it's really lovely. Both of the blooms being beautiful and the scent makes me really look forward to these blooming every year. So I'm so happy that he was able to protect these buds for me. When I left, there was just one or two that had opened up. And when we pulled into the driveway yesterday, they were magnificent. Such a sight. They really catch your eye. And this kind of happened by accident where the Rudbeckia is interplanted with the lilies. And I really love the way that it looks. And the plant that I was most excited to see in bloom upon my return yesterday were these Dalmatian peach foxglove that I also started from seed in the basement under grow lights this past winter. They are now in full bloom. They were not blooming when I left. In fact, they hadn't even sent up bloom stalks yet. And they are looking absolutely beautiful. Now, these are supposed to be a perennial foxglove, and they also are supposed to bloom on the first year, which we can confirm that that did happen. And they're shorter in stature, so they look wonderful in the front of the border like I have them planted here. Now, I did interplant them with an annual that I also grew from seed, and it is called the Blue Horizon Ageratum. And it has a really pretty kind of light lavender color, which complements the Dalmatian peach foxglove so nicely. So I was so excited to see these in bloom, and they look absolutely beautiful, and they still have a few more bloom stalks to bloom. And each plant has several bloom stalks. Like, for example, this one right here has 4 stems of blooms coming off of that one plant, which is so exciting. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, at the end of the season, when these are done, I will let them drop a little bit of seed. I will then cut them back and leave the plant in place, because I have grown the Dalmatian peach foxglove in the past and they didn't return for me, even though they're listed as perennial. And I think I might have pulled them out by accident. So we will leave the plant alone, just cut back the stalks, and we'll see what happens next season. Well, those were the plants that I saw the most change in the time away from the garden. It's always a bit of a struggle when you leave the garden, especially in the height of the summer. I did it last year and I was always worried about things, but this year I was happy to say that I left my garden in very capable hands, and George did an excellent job with both spraying for deer and keeping things watered and alive while I was gone. I did take some footage while I was away. In Holland, I was able to film a beautiful flower market in Amsterdam, which is where all of our spring blooming bulbs, the tulips and the daffodils and the alliums come from. So I have that I will put together and share with you over the coming weeks. And I also stayed at a beautiful old chateau on the countryside of France, and I was able to meet with 2 of the lead gardeners there that were able to give me some tips and tricks that they use in those gardens. And I think it'll be a really fun video, and I can't wait to share that with all of you. So thank you so much for your outpouring of support and comments that you left on George's video that he surprised me with. I was so happy to see that, so happy that he made that for me. It was such a wonderful surprise. And it was really hard for me to be away from him for 10 days. I know we don't share much personal stuff on our channel, but we've been together for a really long time. This is the second time I'm doing this outro, so I'm trying not to cry. But we've been together for about 30 years. We just celebrated our 20-year anniversary. We were high school sweethearts, and this is the longest that I stayed away from him. So I know that he was missing me, and I missed him tremendously. So to be back with him and our boys at our home and in my garden, I love it. So I had a wonderful time, but I'm glad to be back. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button, and please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my future videos. And we'll see you soon.